So what's going on, Gas Gang? Today we are back with a long overdue, long awaited video on the Honda Integra DC5, the four-wheel drive build, guys. This is going to be absolutely legendary. We are down at autotorque, the Integra's in there. Stay tuned for this one. You don't want to miss it. Let's get it. Welcome to Officially Gas. Let's get it. So yes guys, as the intro said, finally we have an update video for you guys with my four-wheel drive swapped Honda Integra DC5 Type R. Now guys, obviously I know this video has been perhaps long overdue, but trust me, a lot of progress has been going on. Not once has this build stopped. So there is massive advancements with where we are with this build. Guys, it's absolutely crazy. Before we get in there, I just want to say that obviously, you know, what I've been capturing has kind of only been the main meaty parts, because I don't want to bring kind of intermediate videos to you to show you all the ins and outs, the little nitty gritty bits of the build. I kind of just want to give you the big meaty bits. But what I will say is Autotorque do have a YouTube channel and they are documenting this build in its entirety. So if you want to kind of get the behind the scenes access to, let's say, all the cool little nitty gritty bits that go on that I'm not capturing, make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel and go and check it out, show them some love. And yeah guys, before we get in there, what I will say is Autotorque are also part of the Gas Gang, so that's exclusive discounts for anyone who's part of the Gas Gang, only £5.49. Guys, let's get in there and speak to Josh down here at Autotorque and show you what has been done. Let's get it. Josh, welcome back to the channel, bro.
Thank you, mate.
Mate, you've been working away on this pretty much non-stop. There was a period when the dreaded COVID got you a little bit.
It did, yeah.
So apart from that, you have been absolutely tearing away at this, and so much has changed. I think the last update we gave everyone, we pretty much were in the engine room talking about the CCS block or CSS block had come back, and that was where we were. Bro, there's been a lot of advancements.
Yeah, there has really. I mean, yeah, so as you said, last time anyone would have seen, it was from memory a block and a crank. Just after you left, I think the next day I got all the pistons in and got basically the bottom end rotating assembly all put together. But yeah, since then, yeah, it's been non-stop.
It's been non-stop.
Non-stop.
Yeah.
You can have a look now.
It has an engine, it has a gearbox, everything is pretty much in. Obviously there's a lot going on here. There's a few bits that obviously are missing, turbo and etc. intake. But apart from that, I mean, we are nearly there. Just give us a brief talk through of perhaps what has been done, anything worth mentioning where we are now.
I mean, so after you and I last saw each other, I solely concentrated on the engine. The biggest thing really would have been the fuel system, because we was upgrading the fuel system, as everyone knows, from the Dash 8, Dash 6, from front to rear, and I needed to get that situated before I could get the engine in. Sounds a lot more simpler than what it actually is, but you know, a lot of what you see is finalised.
Wicked.
If we're going to talk about everything under the bonnet at the moment, there's a lot of little things that most people wouldn't see, or just little challenges as we come along, do you know what I mean? Simple little things like setting up all the gear cable, etc. for the sequential shifter, making like a little sub harness for all the extra sensors that you're going to be running with the Cyvex, etc.
As you were saying, like even like for the Cyvex, you've got pretty much all the sensors in place, right? And you've made up custom looms. And guys, look at this. Like he's even, don't know if it's reading it, like coolant pressure. Everything is done. It's done properly. Even down to little intricate bits like the things that have been custom made for the sequential box, as you say. All the fuel lines are in. Also, we've got fuel pressure regulator, would I be right in saying, up there, that's fitted all subtly. There was some, well, we're doing something a little bit different, and it's fly-by-wire we're thinking about doing instead of throttle body.
Fly-by-wire, drive-by-wire, electronic throttle, however you want to name it. Yeah, so to begin with, it was an idea that I had in my head. As everyone will sort of know, like this job has kind of escalated over time. It was originally supposed to be just a four-wheel drive conversion, and you know, there's an engine rebuild and a quaif gets thrown in, and then a Cyvex, you know. So I was sort of like holding back a little bit, but then after a little while of thinking about it, and to be quite honest, even after I had a conversation with Romain from Racecal, whilst we were talking about in the future actually tuning the car, etc., it would just be stupid not to basically do it. Do you know what I mean? So at the moment, this would have had a cable throttle, so something like this.
Yep.
So this is a, I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, but like a Tegra 70mm.
That's right.
Throttle body.
Yep.
Auto control valve, pretty basic and does the job, etc. You can have like pretty good anti-lag, you know, where you can sort of like jack the throttle open, but like drivability, auto control, like Honda's and no auto control, can't have it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you get really into it and, you know, start running like speed sensors back to for Cyvex, etc., you can use it for like traction control and stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, there's just nothing but like personal gain from it, do you know what I mean? And also, yeah, with the Crave sequential, you can do downshift flips as well.
Yeah. Now, last time they would have seen it, there was no interior. There was literally no carpets, no seats. And now we have pretty much everything in. And as you'll see, we have a sequential shifter poking out. And a lot, again, is kind of went into it. And in fact, under there too, Cyvex is all fitted and everything, right?
Absolutely, yeah, there's a lot hidden in there. Not a lot you can really get see or get a picture of, if you know what I mean, but like the Cyvex is mounted, managed to mount that at the stock location. You've got a plug and play harness in there, and then you've got the sub harness that I made coming through from the engine bay, going into the Cyvex. A lot of other stuff as well, like wiring them going up to the back for the fuel pumps, ethanol sensor.
Yeah.
What else is there? Okay, load cell. Some people call it, or strain gauge, however you want to call it.
Bro, in fact, give us a pull. Give us a pull. Come on. That's wholesome.
So I did have to do like a slight little bit of modification and sort of like bring everything back, and then just have like a little adapter or spacer made for the gear cable where it goes onto the shifter.
Okay.
But as you can see, it all works quite nice now.
Yeah. Mate, that is a good sight. That is a good sight. I can't even believe I'm sitting here in my car. Yeah, it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. We've also got a dash coming. We've got a real nice digi dash basically coming, which will be probably in another video. But I just love the fact that the carpet's in, the rear seats are in, center console's in. Like, you know, that you wouldn't really know a four-wheel drive conversion is being done. Like, you know, if you didn't know what you were looking for, you'd probably just think that's a manual shifter anyway.
Yeah,
you know, so looking in the window it would be very unsuspected. Right, guys, so we have got more goodies going on the car, something really cool that I want to show you. Look, we know this Integra is going to be an absolute beast when it's complete. You know, we're going to be running 700+ brake horsepower. Who knows? A lot of power through this bad boy, sequentialed out, obviously four-wheel drive. And one thing that people always overlook is stoppers, so brakes. If anyone's heard me mention very briefly in previous videos about these brakes, now I think these brakes are 4-piston. These are standard equipment on the Integras, and I believe this is what like the EP3 boys and the Civic boys upgrade to as like kind of a midpoint upgrade. I found that these brakes, this brake setup at even like 400 brake, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got myself into some situations where I weren't stopping. So when I come to certain corners at certain speeds, if the car weren't going around it, yeah, it was big trouble. Luckily, I survived. As you see, the car is still in one piece. But this brake setup is actually one of the best that people said I could do. So upgraded the discs. I can't remember exactly what they were called, but these are brand new. This is a lot of surface rust anyway. But at this kind of, or with this setup, they still were no good. So you know what we had to do? We had to upgrade the stoppers to a serious set. And I just want to give a massive shout out to my new K Sport. So a massive shout out to K Sport, because they have plugged me with some epic 8-piston brakes with 2-piece floating discs, DS2500 pads front and rear. And guys, tell me that these don't look beautiful. There's just something about new brakes, a big brake kit, that is just so wholesome. Guys, these things just look absolutely sick. Look at these bad boys here. 8 pistons. Now we would hope with 8 pistons, the weight distribution across the pad would be slightly evener and kind of give you a better pedal feel and also a brake bite when you push the brake in situations where it's squeaky bum time. Yeah, the look of these, they do look the part. These bad boys here are 330mm discs. Now they actually do a bigger set for the Honda Civics and the Integras, but obviously I'm only running 17-inch wheels, so we needed something that would fit behind them. So as I say, we've got these wicked slotted discs here, 2-piece floating to obviously obviously help cooling down of the brakes and everything like that. And yeah, I'm just absolutely in love with these calipers. So just for a little kind of size difference, look at that. Now these discs on here already, I believe, are 280 or 290 mil, but obviously 4 pistons, 8 pistons, look a lot bigger, a lot cooler, and yeah, we're going to be able to absolutely stop. Another great thing about K-Sport is they actually have like 20, this is crazy, 20,000 different options when it comes to colors of the brake calipers themselves. Also, they've got sets for over 6,000 different cars, that's front and rear brakes. So yeah, a massive shout out to them. Can't wait to get these on. This isn't like a purchase that I've done just out of the blue. I've obviously like reviewed hundreds of cars now, and many cars have actually been running K-Sports. I've always liked the feel of them and how they stop. So right now we're going to be running them on the Integra, I guess. So yeah, massive shout out to K-Sport, guys. If you want to inquire, you want to look into a set for yourself, check the links in the description. They'll be there. But I've been holding the main man Josh up, so he's going to get these fitted, and yeah, let's go. So coming round to the back, guys, take a look at this. We've got our fuel cell in, and we've got all the other goodies. In fact, bro, I'll let you talk us through it.
Yeah, so, I mean, me and you had a conversation on the phone one evening, talking about sort of like how far you would want to go, whether you'd want any sort of restriction if you decided you may want to go a different route in the future and maybe turn it up a bit more. So we've kind of future-proofed the fuel system, because there's nothing worse than running out of fuel, if you're forgetting about like fuel injectors, you know. So I'm quite a big fan of like the radium stuff.
It does look good, doesn't it?
You also just like the look of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a radium multi-pump swell pot. In there is 2 Walbra 450s, both ethanol safe. Plenty of fuel for whatever you need. If you needed more, there's room for third. So
wicked. Oh, the flex fuel too.
Yeah, we've got a flex fuel sensor down there as well.
And the thing is, guys, like, you could probably got to see this in real life, but the way it's all done, mounted, and the way he's fed it all through, oh mate, I don't even know what I'm looking at, but it looks bloody cool. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot going on, bro.
Yeah. And yeah, following along down, you've just got some lift pumps. So the only job of these pumps really is to take fuel from the main tank and just treat it as just like a little tank. It's literally doing fuel from here, from there, and then that just overflows back into there. The 2 Walbras in there take care of the high pressure side, feeding the engine, etc.
Okay, cool. And nicely nestled down there, people would see that is a meth tank. We've got the methanol pump mounted under the tank, and just coming around here, we've got our battery mounted in the rear here. And the great thing again, guys, you'll see we've got full interior, we've even got the parcel shelf, so hopefully these pumps won't be too loud. I mean, the radium stuff is silent. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's no fuel in the system at the moment, and these are dead quiet. Yeah, obviously. We discussed earlier, these are quite noisy at the moment.
These are making some noise, yeah.
Hopefully once some fuel goes through them, they'll quiet right down.
Yep.
If not, then I'll try and basically isolate them even more. They are rubber mounted at the moment, but we shall see.
Mate, that's epic. So I would say that, you know, in a nutshell, I'm going through it very quickly, I know a lot of work has went into this. Should we raise it up again just to show them what it looks like from underneath? Because although it was nearly complete from underneath before, it's properly complete underneath now. So the main thing under here to talk about is we have a fully, now I've been changing gears in there like a madman, so I've probably knocked it out of neutral, so we probably won't be able to spin everything. We'll try anyway. However, we have now got a complete drive line. So we've got our custom prop now back, our shortened custom prop, which is connecting the front to the rear. So yeah, that's pretty much
I mean, you've got all your fuel lines going along.
Oh yes.
All along the bottom here.
All looking OEM placement pretty much, right? Because they are in the same kind of holders as before, right?
Try to make it flow nicely, do you know what I mean? Not look like it's sort of just hanging around us. Yeah. You've got a fuel filter there, ethanol safe. Obviously the lines of ethanol safe as well. Yep. They all sort of come in and out from boot through some bulkhead fittings.
Oh yeah.
So if for whatever reason you needed to remove the lines or something, it's not a case of having to rip apart the boot sort of thing, you can just undo it from there.
Got ya.
The rear end side of things is pretty much done. The diff's never coming back out again, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I've even put oil in it now because where the fill point is on this wagon diff, it's a little bit awkward to get to.
Around there, isn't it? Literally, around there.
So that's now ready to go whenever it's time to start up.
So guys, just to kind of recap, for people who might just be tuning in now and this is the first time they're seeing this, obviously this is a 4-wheel drive conversion that we've done. A lot of people will use Honda CR-V bits because they're more readily available. We actually went above and beyond and we actually managed to get the unicorn of 4-wheel drive parts, which is off the Honda Shuttle or the Honda Wagon in the US, which is good for big power. Everything, the whole transmission tunnel is all being custom fabricated by Josh himself. He's like a one-man kind of machine. He's done the whole build, including the engine build. And yeah, I mean, it just looks 10-10 now. We are properly connected. We're good to go. Will it spin?
That's it in gear.
That's it. All right, cool. So we're in gear. But anyway, we are connected. When I spin this one, the front prop moves. You can see the wheel moves a little bit. There we go. So that's close enough. But we are properly 4-wheel drive now.
Yeah, so next step would be finalise the interior.
Yep.
You've seen the centre consoles in, it just needs a little bit more trimming, etc. Yeah, finalise the interior. Got the dash coming.
Oh yes.
That's something or nothing. I mean, that can get done later on down the line after it's running or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's not something that's going to hold me back, but that is another job to get done.
Yep.
From there, drive-by-wire that we sort of spoke about. So get that sorted, get that all working, etc. It's a little bit of a job, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Everything else that was holding me back is pretty much done. So now I can start basically, like as I said earlier, sandwiching it back together in the engine bay and get the turbo on once and for all and a few grease pipes, etc. And then it can have exhaust made. Yes. Once exhaust is made, then I can start it up.
Wicked.
And then it'll just be a case of running it in and getting it tuned.
Sick. So guys, trust me, I know, again, it's been a long time since I last gave you an update, but things have been ticking away. And I think probably the next update that you guys get will most probably be when we start this thing up. I mean, we're really close, and shout out to everyone who's been following this build really closely, I guess. But when I tell you this is about to be an absolute monster, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's elements of this kind of build that has been done before, but I think with all these kind of bits together, the sequential, the Cyvex, the 4-wheel drive, the parts we're using, and just the whole setup, I think it is a special build. One of my favorite, if not my favorite builds going on right now. So can't wait to kind of just start it up, you know, and
you and me both.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly. What will you do with your life after you?
I know, right? I mean, just go back to servicing, I guess.
That's it. And we have got these brakes fitted, and tell me, how good do these look? They are literally taking up the whole of the wheel, so that's always great to see. Looking in there, now we have got stoppers on this bad boy to match what kind of power it's going to be running. So, you know, unfortunately right now we can't really show you guys how well it brakes because unfortunately the car is not yet running. However, we will seriously be putting these brakes to the test once it is up and running. So yeah, once again, how good do they look? And once again, a massive shout out to K-Sport. Guys, if you're looking for brakes, big brake kits, as I said before, so much customizable options when it comes to colors and things like that. And on top of that, proper brake setups, like, you know what I mean? Also, what I will say is we also haven't neglected the back. We got brand new discs, 4 now on the back, and DS2 500 pads obviously going in there also, and DS2 500 on the front. So I think that's pretty much it. You've got that long awaited update, the one I've wanted to give you guys for ages, the one you've been asking for ages, and yeah, now you guys are up to date. We are nearly there. Don't get me wrong, it's taken a little while, but greatness takes time, and Josh is working his heart out for this build. No corners are being cut, and yeah, it's just going to be a seriously savage build. Once again, a massive shout out to K-Sport. If you want to know a little bit more about what they do, who they are, what their brakes are about, what kits they do, check the links in the description. They will be there. Also, if you want to know a little bit more about autotorque, check the links in the description. They're part of the Gas Gang too, and that basically means whoever's part of the Gas Gang gets exclusive discounts on their services, if that makes sense. It's only £5.49. And on top of that, if you want to see a little bit more about this car and the build in its entirety, a little bit more depth, check out their YouTube. So guys, anyway, listen, the next time you see this car, it's probably going to be running. It's going to be a madness. It's all coming very, very soon. So don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And we will catch you on the next one. Peace out.